Hello and welcome to The Big Story, where we discuss the top news of today and explain why it matters. I'm Haryanto Diman, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. Deputy Prime Minister Heng Keat has called on Workers Party MPs Sylvia Lim and Lau Tia Kiang to recuse themselves from all financial matters at the Aljunied-Hougang Town Council. In Parliament today, he also asked the WP about how it plans to put its own house in order.
Almost 4 weeks have passed since the court judgment. The Workers' Party has been totally silent on this matter. So has AHTC. This is why I have to ask in Parliament, what does the current chairman of AHTC, Mr. Faisal Manap, intend to do? At the minimum, will he apologize to residents of Aljunied-Hougang for letting them down? An apology will be the first step, a belated recognition that they had let residents down, and an intention to put things right. Will they at long last be conducting their own investigations, or will they continue to dodge and deny? Because integrity is of the utmost importance in elected officials. Because if we cannot trust a politician to tell the truth, we cannot trust him to safeguard public funds, to put the public interest ahead of personal gain, or to make decisions in the best interest of Singapore and Singaporeans.
To discuss more on this, we have news editor Zakir Hussain. Welcome, Zakir. For a start, if you could elaborate on DPM's, what is DPM calling for?
I think he wanted to hold the WP to account. And I think he highlighted the fact that for the past 8 years since the WP won Aljunied GRC, it has refused to be transparent about its dealings at the town council. And I think, as you mentioned earlier, in calling for a tender, the High Court judgment earlier this month, last month, found that it was a deliberate. They had deliberately set it up such that they didn't have to call for a tender. And I think today's sitting saw DPM kind of pointedly ask current Town Council Chairman Faisal Manap whether he would at least apologize to the residents of Aljunied GRC and Hougang for letting them down. And I think he also asked Mr. Faisal if he would remove Ms. Sylvia Lim from her post as Town Council Vice Chairman, among other things.
And has WP responded? If so, how did they respond?
Yeah. So I think the debate's still ongoing in Parliament, but WP Chairman Sylvia Lim basically said the motion is premature because the matter had yet to go up to the Court of Appeal. There's 1 month from the date of the High Court ruling to file an appeal, and the deadline is, I believe, 11th November, Monday. And she told MPs, well, maybe the PAP government is clearly excited about certain findings in the judgment over actions the Workers Party MPs took. But because the deadline is next Monday, WP has been studying the judgment with the lawyers, and the party feels this motion and the whole discussion is a bit premature.
Yeah.
DPM Heng, however, and SMS Edwin Tong, also joined him later, reiterated that there are matters of public interest involved because the sums involved have to do with millions in public monies.
Yeah. And how do you reckon, and I think this question will be a lot on people's head, how do you think this will play out in the coming general election?
I think the point of this motion, and it's similar to one that the PAP MPs also filed about 4 years ago when the Auditor General did a special audit of the Town Council and found severe lapses. The point really is to drive home to Singaporeans who might be undecided about who they want to support, is that there are some concerns over the WP MPs and their integrity. This is not to deny that there are, that the WP has sort of done some good stuff in the past few years. I think DPM himself acknowledged that Mr. Lau was someone he had high regard for. And in fact, when he ran Hougang Town Council, there were no issues.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not no issues, but these issues weren't there. And I think they wanted to make the point that in handling of this saga, the WP MPs had misled the public, they had misled Parliament, and to put it more bluntly, they had let their friends who they awarded the tender to, make money at the public's expense.
Right.
And I think both DPM and Senior Minister of State Edwin Tong spelt out that this is really an issue for a party that has always taken allegations of dishonesty, of integrity and over character quite seriously. And if, their point is an opposition has to hold itself to the same high standards that they expect of the PAP government. And I think the troubles at the town council did affect the WP's vote share in the last election. No doubt there was an upswing, after the SG50 celebrations and so on. But the WP won Aljunied GRC by a whisker of under 2 percentage points, which meant, it had to go to a recount and all. And I think even today, observers think it'll be quite tough for the WP to lose that GRC and for the PAP team to win it back after, not holding on to it for 2 elections. It seems quite clear that the PAP wants to, put up a tough fight for the WP again.
Yeah.
And I think there are other advantages to doing so, even though it might be an uphill battle to win back Aljunied.
Yeah.
Just having this at the back of, at the back of the WP's campaign to hold on to the GRC could tie it down, so their ability to put up a tough challenge in other GRCs could be affected as well.
All right, thank you, Zak, for coming to the show to really tell us about the developments to this saga. And of course, the story, as you mentioned, is still unfolding. For more on this, you can visit our website at straitstimes.com. Once again, thank you so much, Zak.